Welcome. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps spread the word and helps make more of these videos possible. If you like this video even more, you can make a recurring donation via Patreon or a one-time donation via Ko-fi. The links are all in the description below. Enjoy the video. Hello, this is Kerrigan, and I have another video for you today. Today I will be doing an unboxing and swatching of some Lukas Aquarell watercolor paints that were sent to me by the fine folks at Jerry's Artama. So long story short is I reached out to them and they got back to me and they said that they would send me these paints for review. So at this point I recorded audio with this at the same time, but there was a problem with the audio, so now I have to do this voiceover, which you guys missed the enjoyment in my voice as I was unwrapping this, but it is what it is. So anyway, I was really excited to get this. The packaging is really interesting. It's very nice packaging. They have the paint and the tin a little bit separated, I guess, so that if you're in the store you can see the product. The tin is very high quality tin, and I know that some people were concerned about whether or not certain tins sort of slide down. This one does a little bit, but it's not so bad that it's unusable or that it would be a problem. I think that would be fine. All right, so this is the tin that it came in. It's probably the highest quality 48 color tin that I have so far. And these are the paints. And I was so shocked and so humbled and so surprised to get this. Even though I knew it was coming, I was still really, really just shocked. These paints look amazing. A set of 48 paints unwrapped is just, it's like a wonderful experience. But anyway, so they have these paints here. This is the Lukas 1862 watercolor paints. These are artist grade paints. And I think what I was talking about at this point is I was talking about the fact that the ochres and the yellow ochres and the gold ochres are mixed in with the yellows, but I like to have mine with the earth tones, and I was saying that I'll have to rearrange them a little bit. I actually did more than a little rearranging. I did a fair amount of rearranging of the colors to sort of suit more the way that I like for my color progression to go, and so that I'm more comfortable with it, and so that it's more similar to some of the other paint sets that I have. But these are the paints. This is the way that it comes wrapped in. All right, so what I did here is I just put the paints back into the metal tin. It's very easy to do. When I have another set of 48 that I poured from various paints that I had. I normally take the tray out, and then I use the bottom mixing area for additional mixing space. So that's something that I do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause and we're going to open up another part of the package, and then we're going to start swatching. All right, so I have here, all right. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, so we're going to start here like this. So we're going to start first with this. This is a Rockwell brush easel. I'm super nervous. I guess this comes in a variety of colors and sizes. You can see here it comes in a variety of colors and sizes. Let's open this up. All right, the brush easel here. Oh, this is actually really nice. There's some stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how this works, but I think I don't quite know how this works. But I think there's some sort of instructions in there. I think it would be like this. No, that's not quite right. I gotta read the instructions. But this looks like this holds a ton of brushes, which is great because I was legit running out of brush storage. So there's a bunch of brush storage right here. So this is actually really nice. So I'm super excited about this. I gotta figure out how it works. I gotta read the directions. And oh my God. Whoa. Hold on. I hope you guys can see this. Whoa. Look at this. Oh my goodness. See if I can show you guys here. Let me. Whoa. Okay, so I think Whoa, okay. So I have here all of these brushes. These are all Mimik brushes. So these are, I have been wanting to try these actually for a long time. So what these are these are synthetic Sable brushes. So Mimik Kolinsky. So these are Mimik Kolinsky, and what these are these are synthetic Sable brushes, and I have been wanting to try these for a long time, and it looks like I got a crazy amount of sizes. Hold on, let's see what sizes I got here. I got a 000. So it's a 000, and then my guess is that they go up incrementally. So from a 000, this is a 1. So 000, 1, and they go up incrementally. Let me see what some of the, and these are, I think these are rounds. Yeah, these are just regular rounds. So these are pointed. I think they look like they're pointed rounds. Certainly look like Kolinsky, and I have a couple of Kolinsky Sables, so I'm definitely going to try to see these versus the Kolinsky Sable. Hold on. See, okay. Okay, so this is a big one. Let's see. This is round 8. And then, whoa, this is huge. Okay, this one is a flat 20. This is a flat 20. And this one is probably like around 10 or 12. Yeah, this is around 12. Whoa. So this is a lot of brushes. I'm going to carefully put them back in the little thing here. All right, before we get to the swatching, I just wanted to show you all the paints in their original order, and just a little bit of a slow speed close-up because it just looks so pretty this way. And then I'll open up a pan and we'll swatch. All right, sorry, I said I would be back after I did the wrapping, but I wanted to show you what the packaging looks like when you first get it. Oh, these are made in England. So these are made in England for Lukas, and it gives you information on the pigments, the US information. There's some more information on the side. It says Aquarell 1862. And then you have information here, which is the color name in a lot of different languages. Opaque white. Okay, this is awesome that they give you an opaque white. Light fast rating, and then that is the item number. So let me open this up so I can see, because I'm sure you guys want to see how easy these open up. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I'm not even gonna, I think there's a little thing here. I'm just gonna put my little mini Swiss Army knife in here and just cut it like this. And then, all right, so you can save this if you want. And then it opens up. It's got a little silver foil. And then this is the part that I want to see. All right, so the color, it doesn't look like they print the color name and number on the pans. So that's something that I'm going to have to do, which kind of sucks, but I will have to do it. And I will, I'm not going to show you the process of me putting in the names on here, but this shouldn't take too long anyway, because I've had to do it for more paints than this. So so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to unwrap them, and that'll be released as a separate video. And then I'll come back and the pans will all be named and labeled off to the side. So I'll be back. So as expected, it didn't really take very long to do. I just unwrapped them and I labeled them. I put in the number and the color name, and then I changed the order because I like to have the color name on there. I'm not sure why, but I do. And I haven't noticed anybody say that the color names aren't printed on there. It's not a big deal, but I just want to let you know in case you're like me and you like to have the names on there. And you can see behind me all the paper from the wrappings, but I wanted to show you all of them. And after this, we can finally start swatching. Yay! Okay, so for some people who might be new, one of the things that I have low vision, so in order to help me be able to see what I'm doing, I do put it up to my face, and that's what you're going to be seeing throughout the video instead of using the more traditional overhead. However, that should not be a problem. We should still be able to see what's going on and get through this. So the first color that we had was opaque white, which is not as opaque as the Sennelier opaque white. I must say that it looks a bit transparent, although I haven't had a chance to use it. That opaque white is PW5 and 6, and it's also a 2 pigment color. I mean, they're both white pigment, so it's not really a big deal. But anyway, the next one was lemon yellow light, and that was PY3. And the one that I'm doing now is cadmium yellow light, and that is PY35. And I was actually surprised. This one seemed to be pretty transparent. I mean, that's something that I saw throughout these colors, is that for the most part, the colors seem to be quite transparent. I was really impressed by that. Anyway, the color after that is permanent yellow light, and I think this is the one that they consider the primary, and it's really good. Like if you want to have just one yellow, this is going to be a really good mixing yellow. The next one is Indian yellow, and this one is PY153. Now the other thing about these colors is that they do seem to have a stronger drying shift than some of the other brands that I'm used to, like the Daniel Smith, the M Grams. There is a stronger drying shift. It's not a bad thing, but it's just the way it is. So that's something to keep in mind. And this one is permanent yellow deep, and it is PO62. So the drying shift just makes the colors, they definitely feel a lot less vibrant once they have completely dried. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something to keep in mind, especially if you might not necessarily be used to it. Alright, so the other thing is that throughout this video, I'm going to be using the brushes that were included, the Mimik brushes that came with this for me to review. And I must say that for all the synthetic brushes that I have, I was really, really impressed with this as I swatched them, and I've been using them a lot. And overall, I'm just so impressed by these. These are, I don't think they're quite the same as 100% Sable, but they're as close as I've seen, and they're definitely some of the best synthetic brushes that I've used. Anyway, the color that I just did was permanent orange, and that is PO71, followed by the color that I'm doing right now is cadmium red light, and that is PO pigment orange 20. So that's, I don't think I have a cadmium red light that's an orange pigment. Most of the ones that I have are red pigment. However, it's fine. I've been able to use it as such, and it's not really a problem. The next one is Lukas Red, and that is PR254. So anyway, so the brushes I found to be quite, I was actually really, really impressed by the brushes. Now they do have that problem, that's not necessarily a problem, but it's just a thing that you have to get used to, is that sometimes when you first put it down, you get a little bit more water with the first drops with the synthetic brushes than you would with the Sable brushes. However, it's not really a problem. It's just something, to get used to and to sort of plan on. And I was able to pretty much hold quite a bit of paint, and I didn't have to do what I've done with some of the other synthetic brushes where I have to go up one size to get so I would have to use a size 8 to get as much water as and paint as I would normally do with a size 6 Sable or something like that. With these, I was pretty much able to use the same size, so that's pretty impressive. Anyway, the one that I just did is permanent red, and that is PR242. And I'm not sure why. I'm sure there is a reason, but I don't know the reason for the color order, and so when I put them together for my set of 48, and when I arranged them, I pretty much moved the order around, and I had them going in the order that I was sort of more similar to the Snelly order of going in, you know, all the warms, and then the cools, and then the cool of one color would join with the cool of the other color, and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's sort of how I rearranged mine, and that seemed to work better for me. Anyway, alizarin, the color that I did before was alizarin crimson, and that was PR 176, and the color after that was cadmium red deep, and that is PR 108. The color that I'm doing now is genuine rose, which I don't know why, but I expected just on the name for it to be like a fluorescent color, but it's not. It's this PV19. So this is PV19, and it's actually a really nice rose color. It doesn't have the fluorescent pigment, so it's not going to be as fading as some of the other ones are, but also it didn't dry as vibrant as it first came on there. Anyway, the one that I'm doing now is magenta, which is surprising because this is a little bit more pink than I was expecting. I sort of expected magenta to be a little bit more purple, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, the magenta is PR 122, and this one is called just purple, which I've never seen in all my watercolor paints. I've never seen a color just called purple, but it is what it is, and that is also PV19. PV19 is very it's a very flexible color. It's like PBR7. You can do a lot with PV19. Okay, so this one is Diagnosing Violet, and it is PV23. And this is one of those ones with that drying shift. In this case, it made me sad because it was really super vibrant when I laid it down. But once it dried, it definitely got a little bit softer. It's not a big deal, especially if you find most of the Diagnosing Violets to be just a bit too much, just a bit extra. This one is a really go-to one, and I probably, if I make another 128 color palette, I probably would put this one next to one of the stronger Diagnosing Violets that I have, just for a balance and just for something that I would mix with, because the other one I can't really mix with other colors. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This one is the one that I just did was Ultramarine Deep, and that is PB 29, and this is Ultramarine Light, and this is PB 29 as well, so that's always good. Okay, so I didn't have the pigment numbers with me when I was just doing the swatching, so I was just swatching, and the only thing I had were the color names. So I wasn't really surprised. You can see from the color and the way that it looks that this is a PB15 color. Just a PB15.3 is Phthalo Blue, and this is very similar to a Phthalo Blue, and I found this one to actually be have a little bit more pop and more vibrancy than the other Phthalo Blue, the one that's labeled Phthalo Blue, that you'll see me swatch later on. Anyway, this is Persian Blue, which is PB27. So this is a color that I have a few of Persian blues, but I haven't used it that often. But I am gonna try to practice, like maybe do like a blue period and do a bunch of work with this Persian blue, because it's really growing on me, especially this one. All right, this is one of my favorite colors, is indanthrone blue, which is PB60, and I just love this color. I mix this color with your PBR7s to make a really dark gray, almost black gray, and I use this color a lot in place of ultramarine, and I've also used it in place of phthalo blue, so it's a really versatile color and I really, really enjoy it. This is indigo, so I was surprised by this color because usually for all the other brands that I have, indigo is PB60 with a black added, but in this case it is PBR 176, PB15.1, PBK7 for the indigo. So that seems to be a few more pigments than I'm used to on the indigo. I'm not really that big a fan of indigo. I tend to use when something calls for indigo, I tend to use indanthrone blue, and just add black, which is what indigo is. So, you know, that's usually what I tend to do when something calls for indigo. However, as I said earlier, I'm going to try to have a blue period and use more of these blues that aren't the ones, my main blues. Anyway, the one after that is Cyan, which is PB15.3, and it looks super pale. Reminds me of the Cenarius Blue by Sennelier. The one after that was the Phthalo Blue, and as you saw, it's not as vibrant as the permanent blue above, and that one is PB15.6. This one that I'm doing now is turquoise, and it is PB16. And I don't think I have any other PB16s. I don't use turquoise as much as other people do. I don't know. I can't really find a use for turquoise in my life, but I will, but it's going to be on my mission to try to do more turquoise. This is Cobalt Turquoise. This color I really like. It is PG50, and I was surprised that this set did not come with a cerulean, but I did use this one and cyan, mixed them together in place of a cerulean. It's not really the same, but I used it that way. And this one is another one of my favorites, PG7 Phthalo Green. I like this color a lot. Mix it, with other colors to get various shades of greens for foliage. I like, adding a pinch of red to it to make it sort of calm down a little bit and not be as vibrant. Anyway, this one is permanent green, and it is PY155 and PG7. And the one after that, which I love this color. This is a color I might have to just go out and get in tubes. It is PG17. It is chromium oxide green, and I just love it. It's more opaque than the other colors. It's more opaque than the other colors, but these colors are all very, very transparent, and it actually looks more opaque wet than when it dries. When it dries, it definitely dries more transparent than when you first lay it on. This other color is Verona Green Earth, and it is PG26, and I like this color because I love the green earth color as a very pastel green, but it is very, very hard to lift off for all the other brands that I have, and this Verona Green Earth lifts really easy and really wonderfully. Anyway, the one after that was Cobalt Green, and that was PG50. The one that I'm doing now is Sap Green, and it looks too yellow for my liking for what I prefer for a sap green. It is PY153 and PG7. This one here looks closer to what I like to see for a sap green, and that was Cinnabar Green Light, and that was PY155 and PG7. And that one looks more like what I like to see. Anyway, this olive green actually is the one that I thought was sap green. This one is olive green, and it is PG36 and PO36, and that's something that I have not seen. I've not seen a green mixed with an orange, but this looks lovely. So hey, if it works, it works. And this other one is May Green, and it is PY175 and PG7. Okay, this one coming up that I'm about to do is one color that I wanted to love, and it looks beautiful going down, but once it dries, it sort of loses a little bit of character. And this one is green yellow, and it is PY129, and it's very reminiscent of the Sennelier brown green or the Daniel Smith rich green gold. The Sennelier brown green is also PY129. So there's that. Anyway, this is yellow ochre, and it is PY42. And I was really loving this yellow ochre. This is a really good yellow ochre. If you're looking for a yellow ochre, but you want one that's more transparent than the traditional yellow ochres, and this is definitely more transparent than almost all the other yellow ochres that I have. This is gold ochre, which is PY42, PR101, and PBK7. And the one after that is Naples Yellow Reddish, and it is PR 176, PBR 24, and I think that's probably intended for European skin tones. This is a color that I absolutely loved. It is English Red Light, and it is PR 101, and I just love the PR 101 colors, but I prefer them in a pan just because I find them to be so soupy. But I just love that English Red Light. And this one here is Burnt Sienna, and it's very typical of a Burnt Sienna. Maybe looks a little bit Burnt Umberish, but it's fine. It actually looks like a cross between Burnt Sienna and Burnt Umber, and it is PBR 7, so that is good. And this one here is Caput Mortem Deep, and it is PR 101 and PBK 7, and I just love the hue of this color. It granulates really nicely, and it just looks so wonderful going down, and I just love that Caput Mortem Deep. This is English Red Deep, and it is PR 101, and much like the English Red Light, I love this color. This is just a fun color that I will definitely be returning to purchasing it in the pans because it is PR 101. And this is Burnt Green Earth, which is not a color that I've seen anywhere else, and it is PY 155, PBK 7, and PR 176. And it's really interesting color, and I'm definitely going to play around with this color. The next one is called Burnt Umber, but as you guys who've been following me for a while, you know how I feel about my Burnt Umbers and my Burnt Siennas and my Raw Umbers and my Raw Siennas, and that I want them all to be PBR 7 because of the way that I work. It just makes my life a lot easier if they're all, PBR 7, because I use them interchangeably, which is cheating, but that's what I do. Anyway, this one was PY 155, PR 176, and PBK 7, which is also what this color is, and this is labeled as Raw Umber, but it is not Raw Umber, at least not the way that I would describe it, but it is still a good color. Both of these are still really nice colors. They're just going to be labeled and used a little bit differently for me and for the way that I work. Anyway, so there's that. And the next one is Payne's Gray. It's really nice Payne's Gray. A lot of the Payne's Gray that I've seen are sort of overkill. This is much more orderly Payne's Gray and much easier to use as a Payne's Gray, and it is PR 176, PB 15.1, and PBK 7, and this is ivory black, and it's true ivory black, and it is PBK 7. So that's pretty much all the colors in the set. Okay, so what I'm going to do when I finish this is I'm going to show you the swatch cards and talk a little bit about my reaction to the paints. All right, so these are the two swatch cards, the completed swatch card. You can see that it does have a little bit less vibrancy than when it was brand new and fresh. So that's something to keep in mind, that there is a little bit of a drying shift. I just want to quickly show you, this is the only other 48 set that I have swatched out in this way, but you can see that the Lukas is not quite as vibrant as this is the Rembrandt watercolors. However, there's still a lot of color and a lot of punch in this, and in terms of price and affordability, these are just such a good value. I was really impressed when I saw the prices that they go for the 21 millimeter tubes, 21 milliliter tubes. I mean, it's just a great price. So I'll give you some links to that down in the description below. The other thing, I just want to talk real quick about the orders. I mentioned this a little bit in the swatching sections, but you can see that I really did rearranged the orders a lot to suit my own personal needs. I sort of put all the warms together and all the cools together just because it makes my life a lot easier in terms of mixing and in terms of just understanding everything that I have here. So so there's that. I want to show you that. The other thing that I want to show you, the last thing that, actually, let me turn this in the bottom, is I just want to show you this. I'm not sure. I believe that this is probably, it definitely came this way. I'm not sure, you know, what this intimates, but I wanted to show you guys just to be upfront and honest about it. The other thing is, it was a while ago that I did it. You can see that I've been using them a little bit. I found that this doesn't beat up very much, but it does stain a little bit more than I would like, but it's pretty easy to clean up with just a regular pencil eraser. But I also found it to be a little bit staining. But let me show you this part, because this did take a really long time to do, and I understand that they have their own process to do, but I really wish that it came with either a number or a name on here, because having to write them it was just a really long process, and I realized that most people aren't going to get that many colors all at once, but for me it was a really long process, and it did take a little bit longer than I expected, and it was also because I changed the order. It also made things a little bit more confusing. Oh, I forgot about this too. This is something that I've never seen before. I just want to show you guys that, and I noticed that as I was putting them together. I don't really travel with this. I've used it a little bit. I've made a few paintings with this, but I don't really plan on traveling with it. But that is something that is a little bit disconcerting when it happens. Again, I don't know if that's just something that happened with this one. I've never seen it before in any of the other 48 sets that I have. I only have like two or three other ones that I got from my Sennelier paints, and one that I got from the Rembrandt. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this, and even though I've been painting with this a lot, you can see that it's barely got a little bit of a dent. It almost looks like it hasn't been used at all, even though I have been using them. So see there goes that thing again. So so there's that. So I know you guys are looking forward to the mixing charts and the comparison charts. That's gonna come later when I do the full review. I just want you guys to show you my first impressions of it and my opinions of it as I have been starting. Overall, I've really been impressed by these paints. They are really good quality paint. So I want to play with these a little bit more before I give you guys more in-depth analysis, but overall I was really impressed with the quality of the paints. I was especially impressed by the Mimik brushes, and I really want to thank the folks over at Jerry's Artama for sending these to me for review, and the full review with the comparison charts and the mixing charts and all that stuff is going to be coming in a few weeks. Thank you guys so much for being patient, and don't forget to be kind to one another, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.